Welcome to the class about social network analysis. What I would like to start off with is to welcome you and invite you to join the network community. This is the logo of a conference I do co-organize since 5 years. It's a conference, an annual conference in Zurich. We organize at the University of Zurich and ETH Zurich, and it is called Applications of Social Network Analysis. I do start with this because I think it's a good example of how interdisciplinary this field is. At this conference we have scientists from political science, communication, sociology, ethnology, but also people from math, from physics, people from medical background, and all sorts of probably many more scientific disciplines, and also business people coming from communication, telecom companies. So social network analysis is an interdisciplinary field, as I will go on to explain you. You will find information about the conference on indicated URL and the URL below. Please remember that. It's www.INSNA, that stands for International Network for Social Network Analysis.org. This is the international organization for network analysis. And on this website you will find a lot of information about conferences, about workshops, about summer schools, about suggested reading, information about important people in the field, and so forth. Please tell me, do you know some examples of social networks? Facebook? Twitter? Other suggestions? Social networks.
Social networks， 我们怎么去理解社会网络？用什么样的例子来表达这个社会网络这个含义？我觉得它是要想要大家可以感受到在这个角度去讨论这个社会网络。
Where do we find social networks? These two suggestions, they are right. We have social networks on the internet. There are special platforms to manage your social network. Do you have other ideas where we have social networks? They might not be called social networks, but they are. Exactly. So we have networks of airlines. Airlines, they have a network. They fly from different cities to different cities. So it is a network of cities connected by flights. And we have commercial networks. So, for example, the companies doing business together. So, as we now have like a rough idea what could social networks be, I will define it more precisely later on. Is there any knowledge around here about social network analysis? I will refer to it as SNA in the future, SNA for social network analysis. You have anyone done social network analysis in here?
有没有同学专门去学？咱们有没有这个 social network analysis 这个任何的学习背景知识？
No? Have you read a paper on social networks analysis? Saw a presentation on social network analysis?
We don't have such course here, but I think we have done some, students should have done some seminar.
Okay, a seminar or any kind of... Yeah?
说汉语，就我们那个现在就是社会那个网络分析的，就看的主要是那个一些书啊，就学到的就是社会网络分析里边的这个weak ties and strong ties， 弱连接、强连接这个理论，还有一个论述空间这个理论，主要是这两个。清华大学生物学系的罗家德老师。
weak ties, strong ties，
强连带和弱连带吧。
OK。
清华大学的罗家德老师就出一系列关于社会网络分析的书。
Center and periphery, something like that, and strong ties, weak ties.
Okay.
And then the 6 dimension. I don't know.
6 degrees of separation.
6 degrees separation.
Okay, well, very good, very good. So these are already like advanced words in social network analysis: strong, weak ties, 6 degrees of separation. We'll come to that later on in this lecture. Okay, here is a very useful network. This is the pass network of the German football team of their first game against Australia. And you can see here the players of the German team and how often do they pass to each other. So you see social network analysis can be very useful. Sorry?
Yeah, let me do this part. It's interesting. 他想用这个例子告诉大家，其实这个社会网络分析它是非常有用。我们拿来像比如这个例子，我们是拿来分析，在德国的这个足球比赛，以第一场到最后一场，它之间是怎么这个网络是什么样一个关系？
So, what do you think we could analyze here? What would be interesting? Why is someone doing this?
When there are more lines to direct to one point, where there are less, more or less, what drives that, right? This is what you research on.
Yeah, you can, for example, in this kind of networks, you could try to analyze whether teams who perform well have another network structure than teams who perform poor. Or you can, when you're like a scout to buy players, you could try to identify the most important player in this network. Or when you like the other team and you know, okay, this player here, this is really important player, you're going to foul him in the beginning of the game to take him off the field, maybe. So there are many opportunities to apply social network analysis to all different fields.
那就是说，比如像这个网络呢，让我们可以看到就是哪对是比较强啊，对相对比较弱。而重要的是，如果你想对这些对进行投资，比如说你要做赞助商务的什么的话，肯定这个会是很重要的一个想法，会告诉你，自己的投资方向。
Okay, so I'll give you a rough outline of the course, what we will do in the next 1.5 days. I divided it into 4 parts, but the 4 parts are not like equally long, so probably we'll spend quite a lot of time on the first 2 parts. Well, it depends how quick we can go on, and then of course we do all of them, but they're not like equally long and weighted. In the first part, I will give you just a general introduction on social network analysis. Of course, we try to refer always a bit to health, public health and health communication, but this is more or less a general introduction. What are the questions we would like to have answered? You should know afterwards what social networks are, like a precise definition. We got now a rough idea that there are football networks and social networks on the internet and friends and organizations and airlines, but we would like to have a precise academic definition of social networks. We'll answer the question, why should we care about social networks? Why is it important to analyze them? Well, in the end, what is social network analysis? What's the analysis part in it? Well, you should know afterwards how to collect network data, how to store network data, and how to analyze network data. Of course, this is basic knowledge, but in the end, you should be enabled to actually do a kind of social network analysis.
OK， 他想介绍一下就是这1天半要讲的内容，主要分成4个部分，但这4部分不会特别均匀的那么分布，可能有些部分要多一点，有些部分少一点。那么第一部分呢是要简要的介绍，今天上午的内容要简要介绍一下这个这些基本的情况，为什么什么是社会网络？社会网络为什么重要？对我们来说，社会网络分析是什么？我们怎么样去采集数据？怎么样去存储这些数据和分析数据？
In second part, probably this afternoon, we will then go a bit more statistically into depth of the topic, and I will introduce you some measures and statistics of social networks. how can networks be described statistically, and how can individual positions in networks be described.
那么我们下午可能是在讲这个怎么样去测量，怎么样去这些有关的这个社会网络统计的数据，怎么样去用数据来表达 ，OK， 或者怎么样去在我们怎么去描述每个个体在这个网络中的这种位置关系。
Probably tomorrow morning we then try to apply this knowledge we gained today to health issues and ask ourselves what kind of social networks exist in public health. So to what can we apply this knowledge of the first day? We will reflect also on what have you already learned implicitly in the previous lectures about social networks. In the summer school there were some references to social networks from the other speakers before, and we will also have a look at how do social networks evolve over time. This is at the moment the hottest topic in social network analysis in general, so I'll give you an idea on this very cutting edge of the research here.
那么明天上我们要将把它的就是说用社会网络分析应用于这个健康传播来讨论。再比如说在公共健康当中存在什么样的社会网络，以及我们在这个实习学校当中能够学到的关于这个社会网络的重要性，以及在这个社会网络是在这些年是怎么样在发展变化的。
And finally, if when we got this more specific application to health issues, we then go on and think about applying social network analysis to public communication campaigns. So the topic of this summer institute more specifically, and I'll ask the question, how can we apply SNA to campaign design and also to campaign evaluation?
这项更重要是，比如说公共传播活动，不光是公共健康活动，包括其他的公共传播活动，可以如何去应用这个社会网络分析去设计，以及去就是说去评价、评估我们的这个社会网络或者说我们的活动的效果。
Sure. Okay. So to summarize what the goals are, I would like to enable you that you can, at the end of this 1.5 days, assess the applicability of SNA for your own research. So I think SNA is a very important and valuable thing, research approach, but it's not the solution for everything. And so I would like to give you as much information as you need to judge on whether this is something important for you, for your research. Maybe you come to the conclusion, okay, this is interesting, but I'm not going to work with it. So this is fine with me. You not have to use it, but I would like to enable you to decide on that on a informed basis. Well, as I already mentioned, you should have the know-how to collect, store, and analyze network data, and you should know where you can find further information, so you can go on with your work if you would like to.
这个第一个目标就是说，你把这个社会网络分析可以如何去应用你自己的研究，你自己做一个评价，你自己怎么去设想你的研究和这个社会网络这个方法可以如何去结合。另外，你除了这个知道怎么去应用以外，还要知道怎么去学习到怎么去采集和储存信息和这个分析这个数据。另外就是，如果我想进一步想了解社会网络或者再进一步研究的话，我该到哪里去找这些信息？我觉得已经是很好的一个目标，而且很明确的一个目标。
Okay, so first point of part 1, what are social networks? Very short but sufficient definition of social networks is that social networks are defined as a set of nodes and their relations, the ties. This is the definition of social networks. Very simple.
社会网络是什么呢？社会网络就被定义为一整套的各种各样的节点 ，node， 就是所谓的各种，就刚才我们看的网络的那些点，就是很多用线与线之间用线连接起来这些点呢，以及它们之间的关系，节点即是关系。
So as you can see, there are two things we need to define a social network. We need to define the nodes and the ties. And so let us go through the examples we gathered before. We had Facebook. So what's the node and what's the tie on Facebook?
Nodes should be individual person.
I mean, the people, the user of the Facebook is the node.
Mm-hmm.
And the relation is the social friend, the network friend.
Exactly. So on Facebook we have the nodes are individuals or the website of individuals, the Facebook site, and the ties between the people are their friendship relations. So if both agree, yes, we know each other, we are friends, then they have a tie. Another example was your friendship network. So what are the nodes and what are the ties there? You already said it actually, but maybe you could repeat it.
Yeah.
Could you repeat the first part?
Yeah, but maybe the others not.
Yes. I think individual person is the node, and all kinds of relationship between us is ties. And I think such as friends, family, and the colleague, it's all ties. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be the relations, right? Just
Yeah.
like you can describe in terms of number, in terms of the strength.
We come to this point. Okay. The other example was airline network. What's the node and what's the tie there?
What, in airline?
Yeah.
Like all the cities, the destination would be the nodes. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Would be the node, and the relation, the ties would be the lines between this city to another city. This is the line between them.
Okay, very good. I think we have very good examples so far. We have different nodes. We can have persons, we have places, we have organizations as nodes, and we have different ties. Interpersonal communication, for example, if we talk to each other face to face, on the phone, on the internet, information, influence, these are all kind of different possible ties. We can also have infection, like an infectious disease. It can be ties. If we kiss someone, if we have sex with someone, then this can be a tie between two different nodes. Support, social support. If I take care of people who have a bad health, this could be like the support network. We can have different places connected by airplanes or airlines, or again, more interesting for public health issues, they are connected by persons. A person who infects himself in a certain country and then moves on to the next country can spread in the infectious disease. So there we have places and persons. Actually, when I arrived here in Beijing, in the first hotel, there was information, a screen on getting hold of things like the influenza, and there were different points mentioned on that, what you should do when you get ill. And one point was you should hold record of your traveling after, I think, was the last 5 days. And you should be able to report it to the authorities where you have been before. And I think this is exactly because of this. They want to try to figure out where it came from and somehow get an idea how this whole thing is spreading.